It's The Price is Steven, starring Stephen Koo, your favorite game show by Stephen Koo about Stephen Koo. Today we've got three very special guests. Our very first guest, she's here, she's queer, she's still not used to it. Give it up for Natasha. Hi, Natasha.
Hey, it's a pleasure
Welcome
to
to
be
the
here.
show.
Thanks so much for
Now-
having me.
Have you played any kinds of game shows before? Have you ever been on a game show? Ever?
I have. I've done. I love games. I love shows, and I especially love combining the two ideas at the same time.
That's amazing. What's your favorite game show?
Oh, I like that. The Monty. The Let's Make a Deal. I enjoy that.
I don't think I
that one?
remember that show at all.
I also like new ones, like that one with Wayne Brady.
I don't know the new ones either.
You know the one where he's all
I only
charming.
know, so far as I know, the show I created is the only thing that exists, and Supermarket Sweep. I've seen those two. All right.
Supermarket Steven.
I gotta buy an extra supermarket just so I can like make my friends run through it. Okay, let's see. Coming up next, he is a lord or a baron of some kind and he owns art. Like, he actually owns art. He's one of those people you can be like, oh, he owns art. That's a weird thing that I've never been able to say about any of my other friends. Like, my friends have like art prints, but this guy actually owns art. So, if you ever want, to burgle someone, this is the friend. It's Greg. Greg, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for painting that target on my back, Stephen. I really appreciate that. No, we haven't hung out in a while, but that's a real fun intro.
It's okay. Greg built his own home defense system, Home Alone style, and he showed it to me.
That's true. There are an awful lot of paint cans suspended from the ceiling in different places.
Yeah, like, if you thought I was wacky, you should see the traps this guy has built.
It's all that extra Baron money, you got to live up to. I may not be a Dr. Doom, but I like to think of myself as a lesser Doom.
So what kind of Baron is it that you are again? What kind of, like?
I'm not a Baron. Nope.
I feel like you said something one time that just made me think you're like a little lord of some kind in Europe with like Germany and the windmills.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. No, none of that's true. Nope.
No, that's true. Okay, I must have just
a really old family. You just decided that I was some form of count or something like that.
You must have just given off that impression at some point, and then my brain just committed to it.
That sounds about right.
All right, coming up, our next contestant. She is currently in the process of making dinner. Give it up for Ivy. Hi, Ivy.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome to the show. I'm glad that you took me up on the idea of also making this a combination of MasterChef with The Price is Steven. I hope you'll be presenting your meal throughout this and telling us your techniques. What are you making?
I'm making tortellini with Wagyu beef in a vodka sauce with hen of the forest mushrooms, baby broccoli, red onion, and a shit ton of garlic.
I understood like half of that. I understood a lot of the words, but when you put them together like that, I have no idea what that looks like. Tortellini is like the potato chips that are super deep, so you can like get salsa with.
What? No, it's cheese-filled pasta pockets.
Is that just ravioli?
No, it's different shaped.
That's how pasta always is, isn't it? It's let's make it a different shape. Now it's dinosaur macaroni.
Oh my gosh.
Can you elaborate on what is it, hen of the forest? Is that like when your chickens are loose?
No, it's a type of mushroom, apparently. I bought it at Chafeway today.
Okay.
Did you buy it because of the name?
No, I didn't want to get a criminy mushroom. I wanted something new and exciting, and it sounded pretty neat.
What's a criminy mushroom? Is that that's the thing, Scrooge?
It's the regular mushrooms that you see at most stores.
All right.
A producer note. That mushroom is beautiful, and it tastes like lemon chicken, and it's great for vegans.
Not.
All right. Wow, we're actually learning things on this episode.
I'll write that down.
That was not the intention. But anyways,
Yeah,
let's
fuck
get
learning.
started. So this is how it works. I gotta update this slide at some point because now some of
Yeah.
our games are about things that I do or do not own. But for reference, all of these prices do not include shipping or taxes because that includes math I don't want to do. So before we get started, everyone gets a free question to ask me about Stephen Koo. Natasha, you're up first.
Yeah, I know that in earlier episodes you've talked about how much you make, and I know so we don't need to go over that. Do you feel like
no.
you deserve the amount of money you make?
I'm starting to. I'm having this really weird feeling of like I've tried to look around for the same job anywhere else to see if there's a competitive rate to compare, and the role of a guy who is the story editor of young adult romance fiction. I'm not finding any hits on LinkedIn or any openings, so I can't find any jobs to compare if I'm doing all right for what I do.
Okay.
But
Well,
I
if-
read a lot of things that are basically fan fiction without the license, so I feel like it's fair.
Okay. So you don't feel like you're underpaid, or you
I think I'm doing great for an English degree.
okay, great. So you feel like maybe you're swimming in it?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I like, I think I'd be better off if I stopped buying stupid things. But as you'll see in this show, that has not been my narrative.
Okay. Just trying to get into your psyche there.
Greg, what's your question?
Yeah. Knowing that you deal with a lot of drama, just in general in your life, in your work. When was the last time or last thing that made you cry? Or what was the last thing that made you cry, and when was that?
Ooh,
And how hard
man.
of a cry was it?
That's a good
I really want to
question.
know.
Let's see. I want to say I definitely got some tears squoze from the last episode of WandaVision. I think like nowadays, like
Sure.
any like before that, I think my last big cry was maybe La La Land because I had just seen it for like the first time like last year. And, Natasha, you look confused. I was just like, anytime any movie does a whole like what could have been, but is not the case because life sucks. That always makes me like tear up. I'm like, oh, I think I watched some Korean drama that like made me cry the first episode, and then afterwards the tone shifted completely. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm never crying again during this. So, let's see. And Ivy, your turn. What's the question?
Okay, so out of all of the Zeldas, which one would you date and why?
I have played the first like 15 minutes of lots of Zeldas,
Oh, good.
but I've never made it far enough to see Zelda. So oh wait, I beat Breath of the Wild. So I guess that one because I've actually seen her, and none of the other Legends of Zeldas have I done well. I know in Link's Awakening, like you just have to get out of your house, and the first thing you do is go talk to Zelda. And I don't think I made it that far because the castle was like confusing, and I didn't know where I was going.
Wow.
So Breath of the Wild Zelda.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Also,
Yeah,
Breath of
man.
the Wild Zelda, I feel like has a lot of patience. She's like been holding off this like giant evil, and then I get to run around and just find rocks and cook rocks and eat rocks for as long as I want, and she's just waiting. She's like completely okay with it. So
Oh my
I
Breath
mean,
of the
god.
Wild
just like
Zelda.
all. Yeah,
A supportive partner if
she's
I've ever
living
seen
COVID
one.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to support me in my hobbies for mental health. All right.
Good.
Steven, you're getting
Are
destroyed
those
in
rocks from
chat,
Hen
by
of
the
the
way.
Forest?
I'm getting what in chat? I'm getting destroyed in chat according to my producer for my decisions here on Zelda. This is just like last week when the Maple Story fans just came out of the woodwork to attack me for saying I'd cancel their fandom. All right.
It's
Moving
well
on.
deserved, Steven. Yep.
Our
I like
first
how
category.
Ivy asked a steamy question and it's literally steaming over there.
That's right.
All right. Our first category is a Stephen Koo drunken purchase. Now, as you know, sober Stephen and drunk Stephen have very different rubrics for what they will spend money on. Although it is sometimes a very sober decision when I make dumb purchases. And these dumb purchases are sometimes for like a one-time joke. Sometimes they're for something that I think will be funny, but I don't know what to do with it yet. I don't know. I really can't justify this one. This one was definitely a drunk Stephen purchase, though. This is Stephen Koo's latest, not latest, but definitely he bought during the quarantine. Bare hands. These are a pair of mittens shaped like bears so that I could say that I was doing something with my bare hands.
Oh my god.
Steven, real quick, Steven, just so you know, I'm an entire floor away from my wife, and her laugh just now was so loud that it echoed through the house when she saw this. Bro. All right.
I still haven't figured out the right time to use these. It's never gonna be so cold that I need to wear mittens in California. I just feel like at some point someone's gonna say bare hands and I can run away, scramble for 10 minutes, and come back with these on.
You're gonna keep them. You're just gonna keep them in your backpack for a quick joke for the rest of your life.
Seriously.
All right. Well, the game is to guess how much did I pay for these bare hands? How much did Steven pay for a joke that he doesn't know if he'll ever get to pay off? Natasha, you're up first and it's closest without going over.
So you're saying you don't masturbate with them?
That is...
And if you do, is it called barebacking?
Oh!
I'll be honest. I guess I am an amateur masturbator because I don't know if this seems like a good idea to use bare hands for it.
Steven, you struck me as someone who would have gone pro in that long ago.
Yeah, you would think, but I just never made a career of it, you know?
Just waiting for that call.
Do I get to know, are these like Etsy deals or what?
Oh, these were very cheap knockoff Chinese, like they're from Amazon and you don't recognize the brand name, and it's definitely like a company that sells a bunch of shoddy things, disappears, and then relists themselves on Amazon under a different name. That's my impression.
Oh boy.
They're real bare hands.
They're not authentic bare hands. They're go
bots. They're go bears.
All right.
I feel like, I mean, there's two of them, so maybe like one would be, yeah, you bought them in a pair and they don't go solo?
No, they came as a set.
Okay. And you said they come from China?
Probably. It is unclear.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess $14.99.
Right.
I don't really know.
$14.99. Greg, your guess.
I know that drunk Steven has doesn't really have any qualms about throwing money around, but I think with these, I could see you looking at them and then laughing maniacally to yourself that these are priced worth the joke. So I'm gonna say that you spent $4.99 on these. I'm gonna lowball it.
$4.99. I do feel like if you and I were still working together, I would have just snuck up on you one day with these.
Yeah, I feel like I probably would have gotten slapped with one by now if we were still in the office together.
All right, Ivy, what's your guess?
So I can't go over Natasha's thing, but I can go over everybody else's.
You can go over if you think I paid more than $14.99 for a pair of bare hands.
Which are, now I look at them, they're just puppets that somebody made a mistake on, and they were like, you know what? They're
straight up. There's only one arm.
A very solid slightly overpriced Wish item. $5.99. That's what I was gonna go for.
$5.99.
Oh,
All right, let's see. The answer is $8.99, which means
oh,
that Ivy is the closest without going over. You got the So that's 1 point for you, Ivy. And yes, they now that you pointed out, Natasha, they do look like puppets that were mistakenly made at the factory. Like, you know what? These are Mittens now. I think that's dead on. All right, let's move on to our next category. This is Stephen Koo's Gallery of Stupid Toys. Stephen Koo likes to
yes.
buy stupid toys. He likes to buy toys that seem like they'd be very disappointing if like 6-year-old Stephen got these from someone. But now as an adult, I find them ironic and hilarious. So, there was this thing that some of you may know about me where I wrote a 78-page screenplay called Fast Fangs. It's available online. You could just message me and I'll send it to you. I don't care. It's about vampire street racing, and it's a franchise that I've just really built a cinematic universe around. I'm still shopping it around, but Lego themselves had a very interesting idea. They decided to release a theme called Monster Hunters, and these were around your classic horror monsters, Lego themed. And what we have here is the Monster Fighter. This is called the Vampyre Hearse, and it appears to be a car with Dracula in a coffin in the back. And I have this car, and what it does is when you hit the switch, it flings Dracula's body out of the coffin into the air, which is, just how I want to go out for my funeral now. It's giving me some great ideas for my next funeral.
Wait, are they fighters who are monsters or fighters of monsters or both?
That's a good question. They don't really dive into lore in these Lego sets.
You mean
Where's the-
there's not an explanation?
No.
Where's
What
our
they've
lore?
got is a zombie chauffeur and a coffin. Dracula built a car that flings his body into the air. And there you see what appears to be a Lego British person throwing dynamite into the back of the car. So, not the worst idea, Dracula.
It looks like a Ghostbusters redux, right?
Yeah, it's like Ghostbusters, but they're like, who needs sci-fi gear? We've got dynamite. Let's do that. All right. So, this is a price pick game. So these are two different prices. This is either a $51 Lego set or a $15 Lego set, or at least that's how much I paid for it. And you need to guess which of these prices is correct. Ivy, you're up first this time.
Oh my god. Okay, so let me just tell you something. Okay, like they added elements of flinging and throwing and spookiness, which God, I know you and I are cut from the same cloth when I say we will go to any means to get our spooky fix, whatever the cost. Nothing's more satisfying and terrifying than when it is $51.
$51 is Ivy's guess. Greg, why don't you tell us what you're thinking here? 51 or 15?
Well, Stephen, not only have I seen this in your apartment, I've actually built this on my own and in a bar with some of my closest friends because we thought it was so ridiculous. At that time, we spent $25 on it, like 12 years ago. So I'm going to say this is an underappreciated gem of the Lego Ovra. But $15. That's what I'm going to say.
$15. So you build Legos at a bar with your friends?
Yeah, it was like a thing we tried to do. We wanted to make it a thing, and we built this set, and then we tried building another one, but it was just like when you lose half the pieces because you're drunk, it just doesn't work. So
I was gonna say that sounds like a
yeah.
terrible idea. All right.
It was fucking awful.
Natasha, tell us what you're thinking here. 51 or 15?
When did you buy this? Was it recently or was it
I
like
bought this last year.
Oh, okay. And these are these did you buy it from lego.com, the official vendor?
No, they for some reason discontinued this line like I don't know, like 8 years ago or something like that.
Oh, yeah, those
this is
discontinued ones are gonna be expensive.
I guess so. Like, when else are they going to say, "Hey, let's bring back that vampire car that we made"?
Yeah. With the flinging is really fun and I enjoy it. But I have children and I've tried to buy discontinued Legos and they get ridiculously expensive. So I'd be surprised if it wasn't 51 bucks.
All right, and let's see what the answer is. The answer is $51 is how much I
Oh
will
my
pay
God.
for.
What?
And that wasn't
for-
a drunk purchase. That was just
This was not a
stone
drunk
cold.
purchase. This was like, I have to.
You were
I
like,
wrote an
this is a
entire
good idea.
screenplay around it.
Dear
Yeah.
God, Stephen.
If
Oh
it was
my God.
if it was $25 when Greg bought it and it's 51 when I bought it, that's like a kid's college fund right there, right?
It is.
It's only gonna increase in
no.
value.
Stephen, like, I mean, you were chiding me about owning art before. This is art, man. That you've just discovered. You discovered the concept of fine art right there.
Yeah. I also like in the chat how people are reacting to your continued disappointment in me through each of these things. All right. Let's see. We are moving on to our next question, and this one is a whoops. I went too far.
What?
A Stephen Koo eats. So, this is, as you know, as a living alone, functioning adult, we all have to make responsible decisions to continue living. But, you know, by being a living alone, semi-functioning adult, I don't entirely know what's best or how life works. I always just use the fast forward button in Sims, so I just kind of get the gist of how to survive. But let's talk about this one. This is something that I got recently. This is Coca-Cola with coffee. This is a soda that is laced with more coffee. Just in case you thought Coke didn't have enough caffeine, didn't have enough bean flavor to it, this is your fix. However, one of these 3 digits is incorrect for how much I would pay for a can of Coke with coffee in it. The 1, the 8, or the 9. One of these digits is incorrect. And Natasha, you're up first.
Am I?
Yeah.
Wow, that cocoa coffee looks really delicious. And that's how many ounces? Was that 45 ounces? 60, 16?
I don't,
Like
12,
that.
17? I can't read that corner there.
Yeah. You look like you're making a Lego set in a bar. I got a lot of squinting. I feel like that's a little bit more expensive. I think that's going to be a $2.89 ordeal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like I bought this and this is like one of those things where I still haven't cracked it open and drank it yet because I'm just not sure the right occasion to use it for. Like if I got like weed edibles, I know exactly what I'm doing. I've been saying this, like when the new Pokemon Snap game comes out, I'm getting stoned and I'm gonna spend a weekend playing that and just enjoying myself. I don't know what activity to do with Coke and coffee. I don't like if I had like a jigsaw puzzle that I'm trying to solve in 15 minutes.
I feel like it might be good to chase a few bumps of cocaine.
Right,
You know?
chase it to calm myself down.
Just the you know, the cocoa.
Coco. And watch the movie Coco.
Watch the movie
while I do
Coco.
it.
Watch the movie Coco.
And
Yeah.
have a good cry.
Yeah, there it is. So simple. All right. Greg, tell us what you're thinking. What digit do you think is wrong on this?
Oh man. I mean, it shocks me more that you're saving it than anything else. That you're just waiting for like the right time to crack this open. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say the 8. That's the one I'm gonna say. I think I can't see a can of Coke being over $2, but I mean this is very special. But I figure I'm 0 for 2 at this point, so yeah, the 8.
I really like what you're saying about me saving it, because now I'm thinking like the perfect situation would be someone says, we're going to have to move all of these rocks with our bare hands. And then I'd be like, I've got the perfect things for that.
Well, let me get out my bare hands.
Oh no.
All right. Ivy, what are you thinking here?
I have a quick question. Was this a Splurge, Whole Foods, or Safeway purchase?
This was a CVS. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. Purchase. So, good question. Good question.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I hate matching answers. I hate doing it. I do so much. But I don't want to. I think it might be $1.99. You know,
All
instead of
right.
yeah.
All right. And yeah, Sivo asking the right questions in the chat. Did I use a coupon or not? Because CVS is constantly mailing me coupons. And the answer is yes, I did. I paid $1.49 for that. So,
Oh,
Greg and Ivy, I think you do both get points for guessing the middle digit was wrong. But yeah,
Yes.
CVS keeps showing me new snacks I didn't need to know existed, and they always stuff them in this like experimental new products corner. So not great that I live across the street from them.
I mean, it's like
Anyways,
grocery alley.
we're moving down to
good
our
deal.
final question, and let's see. It looks like Ivy, you have the most points, so you're the only one who's going to qualify for a prize here. But Natasha and Greg, you both are invited to try and give your guesses. We always play the last game, the same last game. He's 32. He lives alone, but does Steven own it? And this one is one that, you know, like Ivy, you cook, and you know, sometimes when you cook, you can't just use your bare hands. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you're making that pasta. You decide to treat yourself. You know, you're like, no easy mac today. Let's try some real mac. And you know, maybe you read the instructions 4 times after you've thrown it into the garbage and fished it out, and it says for you to do something like drain pasta. Well, I can't use my hands to drain pasta. I tried it. It didn't work. I wish there was something that made it easier. So here's a question. Do you think I own a colander? Good for pasta, good for digging gold, good for repelling mind rays, you know? Lots of things. Cat Rocks 9000 thinks I absolutely don't own one.
I gotta say, I just feel like you're a person who likes nifty things, and like a colander really isn't that nifty. And so you have something that's like similar, but it's really more like one of those little as the handle with the mesh net type deal, because you like to feel like a man who holds his drained pasta. So I just
hold on.
I feel like you're really just holding the thing with the handle that has a mesh net, and that's your colander, and then you sometimes also like strain other random things in it because you're like, this is multi-use, you know? You're like
the
one
only
of those.
thing between pasta and chaos is my hand and this tool.
Yeah, I just feel like you're holding a little net guy and not a colander. Or you're like a innovative, like, oh, it's a pot with the built-in slot, so all I have to do is lift it, and then still not a colander.
I like Tip Olam's in the chat's reasoning that what if I just own it for a cosplay?
Pasta man.
Oh God.
But anyways, Ivy. So Ivy, you're going with no?
Yeah, I'm going with no, but you have something that's similar and not a colander.
All right. Greg, what are you thinking here?
Dude, I'm still reeling from Ivy saying Steven feels like a man. Like that part, like I don't think you walk around your apartment being like, hold on, this will affirm my masculinity. I don't think that factors into Steven Drew's life.
You don't know how often I say that with the various Lego products I buy.
I think that strains credibility.
Yeah,
Natasha, you are a damn treasure. Go ahead, Greg.
Straight up, man, like you don't own a hammer. Like I don't know how someone can own not own a or have a colander and not have a hammer. I think you strain your pasta when you make pasta, because I also find that very incredulous that you're not just putting something in a microwave to heat it up and eating it that way. So I'm gonna say no on this. Yeah, hard no, hard pass. Absolutely
Wait, so
not.
how do you?
You
Okay, but I like the side game of if I don't own a colander, what do you think I do to strain pasta?
Oh, I imagine you've got like some sort of like game you've cooked up for yourself that's just like how like lid pot contraption or something like that. Like you got something at IKEA that just happens to have a drainage thing in it or whatever, but like for you, maybe that's why you bought the bare hands. It's just to like hold it and keep the steam off yourself because you're dainty. So yeah, that's what I like to think.
All right, Natasha, what do you think?
See, I think like me, you like jokes and puns, but unlike me, you have a lot of disposable income. So I think that every year you buy a new one because you go, well, it's a new year, time for a new colander. And you actually have like 15 of them tucked away in your kitchen somewhere just for the joke of it.
Oh man, that does sound like a great joke though, just giving people colanders. Like, don't worry, I've never used it. All right. The chat overwhelmingly thinks I do not own a colander. I just want you to know, Greg, that owning a hammer and owning a colander, like, what am I ever gonna hammer? I eat mac and cheese all the time, but you
Oh
are
no.
correct. I don't own a colander.
Yes.
You
Okay,
you are
okay,
correct. I
Steven.
play a little game of tipsy water, and I hold like a bunch of forks between my knuckles to create like a homemade
Like
strainer to
fucking
keep
kitchen
Oh my
Wolverine. You're like a
God,
kitchen
Steven.
Wolverine.
yeah, to keep the pasta in.
Steven Fork Hands.
Oh my god.
Oh my
It works.
God.
What do I need a colander for when I have 4 forks between my knuckles?
He's a man. It makes him
When-
feel like a man.
Yeah, when you're doing it, do you say "a bub"? When you're like just to have like a moment where you feel closer to Logan?
Yeah, you're legally obligated to do that if you put anything between your knuckles. That's like, it doesn't matter if it's like a pencil or whatever. You have to do that. You have to do your Wolverine impressions. Anyways, Ivy, that means you do win in fact today's prize. And I gotta say, trying to come up with Stephen Koo themed prizes each week is getting harder and harder. But you know, I figured it out this time. This is a thing that, you know, I feel like we never want one, but we always feel like when we need one, it's a good thing we have one on hand. Today, you get a custom-made Stephen Koo sympathy card.
Oh god. Oh god.
Hoping the pain isn't too much to bear, with a picture of Stephen Koo on it.
Again, Steven, my wife's laugh is echoing through my house now. So thank you for that. Thank you very much.
All right. So before we get out of here, is there anything you guys want to plug? Natasha, is there anything you'd like to plug?
I wasn't sad about losing until I saw what the winner got.
Well, I can give you my deepest sympathies.
Thank you so much. Yay.
Oh, cool.
You can follow me on Twitter if you want. I don't know. I mean, I do know. You can follow me on Twitter.
Yeah,
How about that?
we've just posted it in the chat. All right. Greg, is there anything you want to plug?
Actually, I did think of something. I am not a comedian or anything else, but my new game just came out last week. So if you're in the market for mobile games, which Steven, I know you are, League of Legends Wild Rift, go check it out, play it. We can be friends. It'll be awesome.
Awesome. All right. Wow. That. Why did you say that for your intro? Why did you tell me to call you a baron who owns land and is like a little lordling?
All right,
The League of Legends.
Bro.
God damn it.
Bro. Baron.
All right. Ivy, anything you want to plug?
Honestly, just my Instagram and which is Ivy League Comedy, and it's the same for my TikTok. I'm trying to. God, I feel so old on TikTok, and I'm just barely in the 30, you know. So it's like, God, Jesus Christ. I wasn't good at Vine either when that was happening. That was more
but you want
shady.
everyone to go check it out.
Yeah, I do. I want because it's hard. So, but I don't think I'm a bad. I think I'm pretty funny on there. You know, I try. I give
All
it
right.
my best.
Perfect.
Go look at it or something. I don't know. I sat in a pie the other day, recorded it. Not sexually,
Perfect.
just on accident. I was very high on my mind. So, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go check that out. All right, well, that's been our show for today. Thank you to all of our contestants. Thank you to everyone in the chat. And it's gonna be the same time next week, 8 p.m. PST.
Yay.
Bye, y'all.
Bah.
Do